Live from Kakariko Village. Broadcast throughout the Retroverse. Transmitted to the real world via a maze of wires connecting a Super Nintendo to a Wii, to a Wi-Fi network, and finally to the Internet. The Techno Funk Boy presents the Retro Zoo Super Show. Now here are your hosts, Kai and Steven.
Try to discover a little something to make me sweet. Why do I have that in? Oh, we're live. Goodness. Oh, goodness. Hey, everybody. I'm sorry. This is Kai. This is the Retro Zoo Super Show. And I'm just a little bit distracted. We are, okay, so Steven was here and we were trying to figure out what's going on with Drum and it has not been doing well. So, Drum has not gotten better, and is now doing a lot of weird stuff. Drum. Stop that, please. Thank you. He's doing a lot of weird stuff, and so we just sent Steven down to the VCR repairman shop to consult, to ask some questions, to get some answers for us, and we are hoping to get that his return phone call here at any minute. But in the meantime, we've really got a show to do, and it's Friday morning. We're on episode 48. This is very exciting. We are nearing a big milestone, number 50. We're in the works on that, but to date, we have not missed an episode release, and so despite what's going on with Drum, we felt it was really important to still come out here and do the show for y'all. And so that's what we're going to do. And actually a lot to talk about today. And so we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about what happened with the 12-hour challenge. We are going to talk about some other stuff going on with our Twitch channel. And such, and also a couple of changes coming about in the show, and so we're gonna get on it. But first, I guess the phone is ringing. Oh wait, I think that's Steven. Hey man, are you at the VCR repair shop?
Yeah, I was over here just picking up some medical records for Drum. I just wanted to take a closer look. I mean, after talking with the doctor, and I just talked to him in person as well. I mean, the repairman. He had some real concerns, and so he showed me some of the medical records and some of the charts related to his inner workings and some of the tampering that seems to have happened, man. So I don't know, if you were tampering.
Wait, tampering?
Yeah, he said tampering. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, he said that someone has been tampering with Drum.
Like,
and so,
wait. Since the repair, or before the repair? I mean, we knew before the repair.
Well, yeah, there might have been. He wasn't really clear when he was explaining it to me because I was so just flabbergasted. But I think it might have been since then. I mean, I can go back and get some clarification. So,
did you show him the pictures of the Bacta tank?
I did. And he
Okay.
said it looked like a standard back to tank.
But I mean, well, no. The thing that all the exposed wires was that messed up. It wasn't like that before, right?
Well, he said that sometimes when people tamper with things that they might look like that, but he didn't. I mean, I wasn't sure if he was talking about had the back to tank been tampered with prior to us putting.
Did you
Drum
ask
into
any follow-up questions? This is
I basically just stood there and he said a bunch of stuff, but most of it was about how Drum is might have a bit of an erasure problem.
yeah. So you're hearing that too, huh?
Well, the doctor said, that
Okay.
a little respect is.
Hold on, Drum. Can you please stop, please? Please. Thank
Wait.
you.
I thought that he was joking when he said that. Are you serious?
No. He's singing a little respect, like repeatedly.
Well, the doctor had it, or the repairman had it playing in the background. I mean, he had it on the radio too.
Oh, that might be where you got picked it up.
Well, no, I think he's just started listening to it because he was really into it.
Huh.
I wonder if Drum is. Oh man, do you think that there's any way that somehow it's been tampered with, that it's playing erasure to mess with our psyches? Do you think there's a subliminal message involved in there? Because this doctor or the repairman is looking. He's in a little bit of a trance. So I don't know.
Well, I mean,
The plot.
there's. I mean, erasure is. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I think they're a lot of fun. They're just very upbeat, very very danceable. It's cool. I like them. Is that what you're saying?
What if it's stuck in your head though, and you can't get it out? What if it's?
Well, that's definitely true.
What if what if erasure's been weaponized?
that could be very, very dangerous.
I think.
Oh, goodness, I'm doing it right now.
Dude.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to the doctor again. I'm gonna see if I can get him out of this trance. You deal with Drum. Get him to stop singing erasure. Put something different on. Make a death thing, and
make a death. I was
something a little bit harsher. Not so upbeat. Maybe Depeche Mode or.
I was thinking like ELO.
But
no, Depeche Mode. That's good.
It might be the perfect counter. It's like acid bass.
Very good. All right.
Okay.
Sounds great. All right. Call me back. Call me back as soon as you can.
I will. I gotta talk to the repairman.
Perfect. Great.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, while we are waiting for I guess for that call back, we will get on the topic. Before we do anything, we do have a little bit of news to catch up on, and this relates to the Billy Mitchell saga. Now you might remember this, actually the only special episode we've ever done was on Billy Mitchell and Twin Galaxies saga, and trying to do as quick of a recap as I can for those of you who are not familiar. Twin Galaxies was the primary, record keeper back in the day, primarily during the high score days of video game, of gamers. And so this was early video game days, arcade times, really early console. Everything was being judged by score, right? It wasn't nearly as important as you finished the game or how fast you finished the game. It was what's the score? And all the arcades had the high score stuff. And Twin Galaxies became the kind of the record keepers of that. And a lot of really early video game talent emerged out of that, and a lot of those scores have been questioned in the recent years, and using kind of modern technology, modern understanding to go back and really pick apart these games and see if these scores were even possible. Todd Rogers being the first big name to really be very, very carefully questioned, and his scores found wanting, and they were removed from the Twin Galaxies database. Billy Mitchell was next, and it was primarily because of his initial 1,000,000 point game of Donkey Kong. that was very famously portrayed in King of Kong documentary. Well, the question was this on an actual cabinet, authentic cabinet, or was it on MAME, which is an emulator? And a lot of the evidence that honestly, I'm not an expert on this stuff, and so I go by what I watch and I look at, and it seemed to be MAME. Now that's against the rules, and so they stripped Billy Mitchell of all of his records in the Twin Galaxies database, and that caused quite a bit of stir. I overall, despite the fact that I don't understand a lot of it, I do think it's a good thing that Twin Galaxies, under the new management, is really trying to clean up their act and purify these scoreboards, because Twin Galaxies has gotten the reputation of not being trustworthy. And that's not what anybody wants. And I think it's important that these records be very carefully examined. Well, okay, so the news was that Billy Mitchell, in this past week, he's been streaming on Twitch. He's been streaming his attempts to get a 1,000,000-point game in Donkey Kong. And this week he did it. And he's been playing an arcade machine. I think it's like actually in a bar. It's not even a private location. They videotaped the board. They videotaped the backside of the board. They videotaped, the cabinet itself. They really documented it well. Again, not being the expert, it looks pretty good. And he hit 1,000,000 points. And not only did he do that, he waited at the end of the level until he had the opportunity to hit exactly 1,000,000 points. Like, he didn't go 1 point over 1,000,000. And then he walked away and let Mario die. And that by itself, let me be the first to say, and I say this as somebody who's not really a Billy Mitchell fan, I tend to lean toward he was using MAME in those records. I question a lot of what went on back then, in particular what Billy Mitchell's done. But as somebody who's not a Billy Mitchell fan, that earned some swag points. And he did exactly what he said he was going to do, because he said previously that he's not going for a record. He wants to prove that he gets 1,000,000 points. And when he gets 1,000,000 points, he's walking away from it. And he did it. And that's darn impressive. And I think a lot of us now, so many years after the fact, we want to just kind of look back at these guys who were setting these scores back in the day. So many of them so questionable, and so many of them just outright fake. I think our instinct is to just these are a bunch of fakers, and they don't deserve anything. And I want to caution us against that, because Billy Mitchell is a fantastic video game player. Now, I say that thinking that he used MAME to try to get that score, maybe out of pride, maybe I don't know. But that doesn't change the fact that he's an exceedingly accomplished video game player. And it's kind of frustrating to look back at these guys. I mean, Todd Rogers was, for all accounts, the first professional video game player. And he was an exceptional player. And Billy Mitchell, the first real big superstar of gaming. And he was an exceptional player. But what's most frustrating about this whole saga is it's kind of like the great baseball players who started using steroids, and it calls everything into question. And it's like, there's no doubt that these players were good. There's no doubt they were good, but they also cheated, or at least very, very much seems like they cheated. So you now question everything. How much, like the baseball players, how much of this record were the steroids and how much of it was raw talent? There's no way to tell, and so you have to question everything. And I think that's the really frustrating part in all of this, is that it's hard to look back at this time. It's hard to look back at the early Twin Galaxies days and with any sort of pride, which we should feel toward these times. This was the start of this industry that we're now in. But it's hard to look back at those times and feel pride toward them, because they are tainted by just that, just this cloud of dishonesty, and that's very frustrating. But anyways, so this last week, from everything I'm looking at so far, it does look like Billy Mitchell legit hit a 1 million point game. He did it with style. He did it with swag. And that should be mentioned. So, that certainly is not a record. It's not, it's not a record. The record's way past 1 million now, but it is a great accomplishment. We should be bringing that up along with all of the other stuff that we talk about with Billy Mitchell. Now, on to something else that is definitely not a record. For those of y'all who did listen last week, you will remember that I had committed to engaging in the 12-hour challenge. What the run I was going to run was Dragon Warrior, the any percent no RNG manipulation, and we're not going to go into that any further than we already have, because, well, we've already been through that, and we've already talked about that some. So, but I did want to let y'all know how things went. We did indeed on Saturday morning of this last week get into that game. I, in all honesty, really should have done an immediate reset on it, because right in the throne room, and for those of you who've played Dragon Warrior, like the pathways are not big. A lot of times the pathways are one tile thick. And so if another NPC gets in your way, there are times when that they can be in your way for some time. And that happened in the throne room, which is where you begin the game. And so that was a bummer. And if I were like going for a PB, which I guess I was going for a PB, because however long it took me was going to be a PB. So, I should have reset there, but I was like, no, let's just keep going. It's fine. And so I was having trouble right up front, but I started getting into it, and, the menuing at first was a struggle, but I was slowly getting better at it, especially during the gold grind, which is a very big chunk of the game. Things were getting better. And so I was having a ton of fun with the game. And, a lot of you did come to the Techno Funk Boy Twitch page and encourage me and be there and hung out with me for some time. And I really, really appreciate that. That actually helped me a lot, because it was a very long run. It's a very, very long run. And so there were several times that it helped me a lot to be able to just chat with people, as I was going. And so we started getting through, and so in this category, there are 2 mini bosses that you hit before fighting the Dragon Lord. And the first one is the really dangerous one, and that's the Axe Knight. And Axe Knight, for those of you who know the game, is protecting Erdrick's armor. And that fight at that level can be really horrible. And so there's 2 things you're looking for. First of all, you're looking to, first of all, not be back attacked. Because if you're back attacked, you want to immediately run, because things are going badly already, and that's not good. But the second thing you want to do is to land a stop spell immediately. Because that way, if he starts casting all of his sleep spells and such, then they won't work, because that's what stop spell does. It stops the enemy from using spells. And so that in that case, I died the first time I was there. But as I went the second time, and I did land my stop spell, and I did do very well, and got a landed excellent hit against him, which was really great, because that really shortened the battle quite a lot, and made it so I killed the Axe Knight on the second try. The other mini boss is not that big of a deal. It's the golem, but you have the fairy flute, and so you're putting him to sleep all the time. He's not that hard, but the Axe Knight in particular, that's a really tough one. And so, we got through that, and I was feeling actually really, really good because things were coming together, and I was, I really only forgot one thing, and that's to get some fairy waters as I was doing my traveling around. The fairy water makes it so you don't run into random enemies whose level is lower than yours. And that's a big deal. For those of you who've played Dragon Warrior, the only save point is the beginning castle, Tentacle Castle. And so if, you're walking through there constantly, and you do not want to run into slimes because you are much higher level and they're just wasting your time. And so they make your travel a lot faster if you use the fairy water. And so that's the one thing I forgot. And that was a big deal and a big time loss. But at the same time, it was, I was doing really well. I was, I had gotten through the Axe Knight very quickly. I felt like my menuing skills were improving greatly as I went. And so I was sitting there. I was like, the whole time I was like, my goal was to get it under 7 hours, but I'm kind of wondering, I might be getting this under 6 because I was reaching the last few levels and then the Dragon Lord, and I still had a lot of time before the 6 hour mark. So I was like, I might get this before 6 hours. And then I looked at somebody else's splits and realized that those last levels each took at least 25 minutes, if not 30 minutes to reach, and that I was not going to get under 6 hours. And in fact, I would be very lucky to get it under 7, and that things were going considerably more slowly than I thought they were. And so I kept going though. I was a little frustrated at that, but I kept going. It's like, this is my first time, whatever. Let's just keep grinding away at it. And so that's what I did. And, we started making some progress, started doing fairly well. And then I died 3 times in Sharlot Castle, which is the last castle of the game. Twice to the Dragon Lord himself, and once to an armored knight. That those armored knights can just mess you up for sure. But all in all, I really did. I felt like giving up, but I had already made it so far. And it's like, it'd be stupid to give it up. I will only regret it. Yeah, I am so close. We all knew, and going in, if you're going into the Dragon Lord's chamber at level 18, then you realistically, you even if you play it perfectly, you only have like about a 20% chance of winning that fight. And so we knew that going in. We knew that this could go very badly, that I was very likely to die in that fight. And so I did it. And then on the 4th trip into the castle, I won, and that felt so good. And it was 7 hours, 25 minutes. And it felt so good. I had planned, no matter where I hit on the chart, on the leaderboard, I had planned to submit my time to speedrun.com. And I changed my mind. I don't know if I have changed in my mind permanently, but I am so far behind the last place person on that chart that it's just, it's a little bit embarrassing to try to do that. And so I don't know. At this point, I have not submitted it, and I do not plan to submit it at this point. I'm hoping that I will have, I'll have a chance in the near future to better that score. And so I guess that's the end result of this, is that I'm definitely going to run it again. I'm in fact, I had a lot of fun. The final, okay, so the three main grinding points of the game is first the gold grind. And that took, I don't know, I'm making up times right now, so, just bear with me, but I think it's like 40 minutes of just menuing. And so I knew that was going to be a struggle. And then there's a level grinding segment. And that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. That it was actually pretty fun and pretty smooth and pretty short. And then there's second level grinding segment. And that was the beast. That was rough, because that is the one that's you're 5 hours plus into this thing, and you are, I was exhausted. I was going to say sitting there. I stood up to stretch while I was level grinding at times, but I've been there the whole time. I've just been playing this game now for this long, and I'm doing nothing but fighting at this point, and my eyes were starting to glaze over. There was a couple of points where there's one enemy I'd run away from, and it's the gold man, because I did not need gold. And they give really terrible experience. They give great gold, but terrible experience. And so I was running away from him. And there were a couple of times that I would get like 3 rounds into a battle with a gold man before realizing it's a gold man. And that's kind of how my eyes were starting to glaze over, and really affecting the way I was playing the game. And, it was really interesting to realize, how the concentration is really starting to slip at that point. And so, but we got through it. And that's the part that felt really good about the whole ordeal, is that we got through it. And I can't tell you how happy I was. I mean, as disappointing as the time was, as disappointing as that was, I was so excited that I actually finished it. And I was, I was happy enough with the run in general that I want to do it more. And I want to be able to keep hammering away at the game, and playing it more, and learning it better, and getting a better time, and hopefully eventually submit the thing to the to speedrun.com leaderboard with a time that's not 7 hours and 25 minutes. But so that's what went really well. And that actually ties into some kind of big news that's going on in the realm of the Techno Funk Boy. And so while we're waiting for Steven to call back, I hope you'll indulge me on some pretty exciting stuff. We are, some things are growing and expanding, and we are very pumped about that. And so hang with me through the break, and we will be right back. And just for fun, right after the break, we're going to play a track from Techno Funk Boy Final Fantasy album. And so please enjoy that, and then we will see you in just a bit. Hey, it's Kai here. We recently finished our latest EP, Quest of the Dragon Warrior. It's an electronic tribute to Dragon Warrior and the amazing music that game gave us. We're really excited about how this music came out, and we want you to have it for free. If you go to technofunkboy.com/Dragon Warrior and sign up for our weekly newsletter, you'll get the songs to download and keep for free forever. That's technofunkboy.com/Dragon Warrior, or check the show notes for a link. So welcome back. All right. So over the break, unfortunately, Drum just broke my keyboard. Drum, stop, please stop that. No, not that, okay. I don't know what to do. We followed the instructions so well. I don't know who could have gotten in here, but anyways, okay. Phone's not ringing. I was hoping to have heard back by now. So let's kind of get into other things that are going on, and we will, first of all, we will be having a couple of announcements that tie in with our episode 50 for kind of an expansion of the show that we are going to be doing more stuff and cooler stuff and stuff that you will definitely want to be involved in. And so we hope that you will hang with us a couple of episodes to episode 50, and we will talk more about that. But I wanted to talk just briefly about our Twitch channel, and the Twitch channel is twitch.tv/technofunkboy. If you don't know already, I know a lot of you have jumped in already and supported us with a follow, and really do appreciate that, and that means a lot to us. And one of the ways that actually does mean a lot to us is that we got an invitation just here recently from Twitch to become a Twitch affiliate, and that's a really big deal for us. I always knew that we would get to that point, but it's kind of funny because when I first started streaming, my goal was to get there by the end of this year, and that kind of make that our target goal to grow the channel enough to do that. And we started seeing the numbers go our way faster than we expected, and so we're like, you know what, maybe this can happen by the end of the summer. And we actually got the invitation at the end of July, and so it's just everything has come together so much faster than we expected, and we honestly owe that all to you. So, first of all, for those who don't know, let's start from the beginning. What in the world is Twitch? Twitch is, and we've talked about it some on some previous episodes, but Twitch is a place that really specializes in live streaming of video games, and it has kind of become the premier place to do that. And so a lot of the big gamers, even professional gamers, stream on Twitch and kind of make that their home. And so unlike YouTube, which YouTube, really ended up specializing in pre-recorded stuff, they do have a very vibrant live stream community, and that's actually starting to pick up some steam, and it's cool to watch that pick up the steam. But Twitch is where that really started gaining in popularity and in importance, and it just became kind of a home for that. And the whole setup at Twitch is really optimized for games. You can look up particular streamers, you can look up particular games and find people playing those games and join the chat. And the chat community is really great. It's funny, when we had Jim's friend on, which seems like a long time ago, he said the main He thought the main reason for Twitch's success was the chat function. And at the time, I wasn't doing a lot of chatting, but since then, I've done a lot more, and more importantly, I've seen the effect that chat has on my own channel. So when I was doing that Dragon Warrior speed run, the importance of having someone in chat to talk to while I was trying to do all this mess cannot be overstated. It was just it was very important. And so I've really come to love the Twitch chat and the Twitch community. And so these are things that have kind of made Twitch what it is. But there are a couple of different levels of type of streamers that you can be on Twitch, I guess is the way to put it. But anybody can kind of pick up they do have rules on who can stream, but generally you can make a channel, you can stream. The streaming software is free online. I use Streamlabs OBS. That stuff is free. You can set up streams and get that connected in Twitch and just stream to your heart's content. But there are a couple of kind of levels above that, and the top level is partner, and that's the bigger channels that are very regular, have quite a few viewers, people coming in to chat and watch all the time. But then there's kind of a middle ground for affiliates. And at either the affiliate or the partner level, there are a lot of different benefits for that. But one of them is to be able to accept subscriptions. And when somebody subscribes to your channel, you can follow anybody for free, but to subscribe, it costs money. And so if you subscribe, it's kind of like doing a Patreon or something. It's, you find value in this channel and you want to support it financially. And the streamer gets income from that subscription. When we got to that affiliate level, that was a huge deal for us, and one that I was just absolutely thrilled about. And so that's kind of where we are. I honestly can't thank those of you who have jumped in, who followed us initially. I can't thank y'all enough, because that's literally how we get to this point. So Twitch measures the success of a channel by a number of different metrics, and some of them are under my control. Like, how often do I stream and how long do I stream? But a lot of them are not under my control. Like, how many people are watching and how many followers do I have? So those requirements, it won't do us a lot of good to go into what each of those numbers are. But those are kind of the numbers that go off of in those categories. But the last one for me was the number of followers, and that's what we hit. We picked up some for the Dragon Warrior speed run, and then we picked up more in our normal Tuesday night guild realm run, and between the two, we hit the milestone of 50 followers, which is the requirement at least at this time that Twitch has for affiliates. And so I really didn't know what to expect. I knew the importance of 50 when I hit it. I didn't know what to expect after that point, but I had once we had gotten all the requirements, Twitch very, very quickly sent all the information to get signed up and to get everything processed to officially be an affiliate Twitch streamer. And so that's been absolutely awesome. And I haven't actually been able to stream since we got that. And it's just, kind of the middle of the week is not the best schedule time for me. It's normally weekends or Tuesday that we run. So I am in the process now of planning a celebratory stream, and I don't know exactly when that will be, but please do follow us on Twitter or on Facebook or on Twitch to get notified when these things are going to happen, because we are going to have a celebratory stream. There's going to be some prize giveaways at said stream, and so you definitely don't want to miss it. It should be a ton of fun, and we're really looking forward to all of that. The last thing I want to say about Twitch in general, and I think I don't think that I've said this. I actually don't think I've said this at all, and I should. This should be talked about a lot more. Is that there is a deal with Amazon, because Amazon owns Twitch, that you can connect your Amazon Prime account to Twitch. And that gives you a number of different benefits. But one of them is that if you're a member of Amazon Prime, you can give one free subscription a month. And if you are a gaming fan, and if you have Amazon Prime, this is something you should be doing, because this is already built into the price of your Prime account, and so that money should be going to someone. And if that person's me, then I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But if you are really enjoying some channel on Twitch, and maybe you can't afford to actually give, paid subscriptions, but you have that Prime account, please do give that account, give that subscription to someone. The way subscriptions work in Twitch is that you do have to go back and confirm it every single month, but do that, even if you have to set yourself a reminder, because that money can be going to someone who's working very hard to stream their games and would really appreciate the subscription. So that is the last thing I will say about that. Okay, the phone. Oh, wait, that's Steven. Hold on. Hey man, give me some good news. I'm ready for it. Bird?
Kai,
How did you get Steven's phone?
Steven is no longer in possession of his phone.
What did you do to him?
I control his phone.
What did you do to Steven?
I will tell you shortly. I am standing outside the door.
Outside the door of the VCR repairman shop?
Wouldn't you like that? No. I am standing outside your door.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, lock the door. Okay, it's, I don't know what to do. I need to call for help. Wait. What? Wait. Something's moving. Drum? Drum, is that you?
I have come to protect you, Kai. Let's end this. To be continued. Retro Zoo Super Show is brought to you by the Techno Funk Boy. Follow us on Twitter at Techno Funk Boy, on Facebook at the Techno Funk Boy, and sign up for our email list at technofunkboy.com. Also look for us on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon for music. If you are so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast catcher. If you are not so inclined, you are obviously some sort of villain trying to conquer the world. Unowned music and gameplay clips are used for educational and critical purposes. Thank you for listening. Keep gaming. And once you have responsibilities that need to be done at this time, then you can game later.